Welcome once again to more Monster Train. We've been switching it up lately with some expert challenges, which is why I have some clans selected, but it's time to go back to the well, to the old traditional regular run. So as always, random coming up rank 25. Let's go and see if we can defeat the Seraph today. We get Awoken Stygian, and our boss is the Spell Devourer. I find this to be the easiest by quite a large margin, generally speaking, so should make for a nice run. Let's see what we got. We got Sharpens, Energy Siphons, and Bramble Lashes. Well, some clear synergy here, though, without additional spikes. This isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot. Energy Siphon can be good sometimes if you get a big spell that you're looking to fire off at a boss or something, but yeah, the Bramble Lash. The Sharpens don't really synergize with spikes, they give spikes. These are actually sort of anti-synergy, because you generally don't need millions of spikes except for dealing with bosses. Just a little bit is enough to like take out support units or whatever. But let's see what our artifact is. Okay, so we can try to abuse spell costs, which Split Anvil is definitely one of those relics where there are runs where it can be completely busted, and there are other runs where it can do almost nothing. But we already have a couple of 2 costs, and obviously our starter deck is full of 1 costs, so I kind of like that one. Boon of the Blacksmith is powerful, let your Pyre save some health on some of the later enemies that have a bit more health, but I'm going to go for the Split Anvil. Usually like to go for the high upside plays here. Alright, so if you've watched my videos, you know I love cultivating, so good. But, maybe we go for spikes. We have the Bramble Lash, so that's already, what, 100 damage off the bat? It's pretty good. Yeah, again, the extra draw here is very good because we have the Split Anvil. It just means oftentimes we'll be able to play a 2-cost card and then play the rest of our spells for free, and that's really good. So, gosh, I might still just go for this. This is just so good. But, there's not even that much synergy with spikes, right? There's just the Sharpens, like I said, are anti-synergy, so it's really just the Bramble Lash. Yeah, it's just too good, and the card draw here is even better than usual, I think, so I'm gonna go for it. Alright, and here we have armor for a unit draft. We're gonna leak some stuff if we give them armor, but I'm okay with it. These big guys don't hit that hard, so should be okay. Smaller floor there is totally fine. And I might look to set up a floor up, see if I can give us a chance to draw some spikes or something. That seems decent to me. And in the meantime, this unfortunately not doing anything, so just fire some lances off. Maybe should have played a steward up there. Obviously, didn't think of that because I'm silly, but we will be playing our Sharpen here, and at that point we can just Frozen Lands the Collector, so only a minor loss. Steward, one of these, and just thinking about whether this might matter on one of these versus the others. This will go to 36, and our Pyre does, what, 20? So dealing 12 damage to it off a Frozen Lands doesn't accomplish a whole lot. So maybe we'll try to set something up with this one, I'm not sure. Alright, here, let's see. Probably worth playing one of these since it is doubled. Beyond that, you aren't taking any damage, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and deploy a Steward, and I guess just heal a little bit. Again, we're going to be taking a little bit of damage. It's just not a ton we can do about it. So, let our Pyre handle it. It's going to be fine. I guess had I set up on the bottom floor, we could have avoided damage from this wave by just killing the boss, and that would have been nice, but oh well. In the meantime, I think 12 damage does do something this time, so we'll go ahead and reduce that incoming damage, and I'll play you, sure. took 11, not the worst. I still feel like we're in pretty decent shape, assuming this kills, which it does. Just get rid of their weight. Just play some spells for the hell of it. Alright, let's see what we find. Razor Sharp Edge, Glimmer, and Sting. Well, Glimmer's looking pretty nice here. We don't have a way to hit any backline units beyond our Sharpen here, so I'm okay with picking up a nice AoE. And zero cost cards, a little less good when you have the Split Anvil. Offering Token still decent, and Mollusk Mage. Once again, I think I did this last time, but it's like pretty decent with restores. Makes him go from pretty crappy spells that are basically only used as rejuvenation triggers to, you know, healing for 10, which is respectable. So I'll grab one. See if we can make that work. Alright, and here we have a Thorned Hollow for that serious spike synergy that we're maybe interested in. Don't think we want Offering Monument all that much. And Icy Silophyte, fine. Wouldn't mind a Sweeper or anything, but I'm gonna go for Thorned Hollow here and try to get rolling on the Rejuvenates. That said, we do need to find some more healing spells, but I'm sure we'll get there. In the meantime, heading as always to the Steel Merchant Stygian Manor. Seems good. Got Attack, Health, and Endless. Endless not likely to do much for us, but Attack and Health are both reasonable base upgrades. And here, I did mention that Sweep wouldn't be bad, and applying Spell Weakness could maybe have some applications if we pick up a big spell later. That said, I guess it's actually good with Bramble-Ash even, but we're going to have spikes on our Thorned Hollow, so the support units aren't so much of a big deal. I might actually go for the Siren, and then every time we cast a heal on the Hollow, we get a little bonus. Seems alright. Just apply our basic upgrades here. And hold on to the 100 gold for a future turn. So on to the next fight. Once we changed our mind and we actually want to spend on a purge, let's just look. So here we're getting a duplicate and a unit or an artifact with some health. Neither spends money. And here we're going to be spending money, and the boss doesn't give that much, so I'm going to hold on to cash. One remove isn't going to make or break the deck at this point, I don't think, and being able to afford an important upgrade like multi-strike or something could end up mattering quite a bit. Okay, so this is once again going to cost us some health if we take it, though if we can get our Thorned Hollow and a regen, or restore rather, early, that would mitigate the damage a bit. Obviously Glimmer does the same, but that's a lesser chance. We have a 50-50 of drawing Thorned Hollow on turn 1. And then it's just a matter of drawing a heal, so I'm going to try this and try to get a little lucky. If we don't, our Pyre looks not so hot, but... Okay, well, we drew the Hollow, but unfortunately not a heal spell for it, so... That's too bad. This Energy Siphon's looking really awkward. I would have removed one of these probably too if I was removing cards, so it's kind of an interesting thing to see there. Alright, so I will still play the Hollow at the top. Hopefully we get a heal next turn and can eliminate this enormous crowd of stuff coming in. And with the haste here, probably going to look to play Sentient on the bottom, even though it makes our Mollusk Mage awkward. Just kind of have to do it this way. I don't think any of these cards matter at all. These all have 1 health, so it's not like Spell Weakness does much, and this just doesn't deal damage, unfortunately. Alright, well, we drew both a Restore and a Glimmer. I think I'd rather play the Glimmer down here, even though it's less enemies. These ones aren't actually hitting as hard. Well, are they? They're hitting for 19s, they're hitting for 12. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's think. Can I have a lance as well? Yeah, okay, actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna glimmer up here. I should have maybe played the Siren first. When I think about it, but can you do? And I will play a Steward in the middle to score this kill, and then a Siren at the top. Go ahead, mess with that. You know, our champion not going to do much this fight. I'm sort of consigning myself to just throwing it away, but that's alright. We'll try and get the top floor going here. Our anvil kicking in, doing some good work for us. I mean, I might as well play a Steward behind it for a little bit of profit. But again, we're mostly looking for this floor to do what we want to do. I could play the Sharpen here. It would kill the haste unit, which lets us just have an extra turn of prep. I think that's actually relevant enough for me to want to do. And then makes a lot of our other spells cheap as well, so I'll play the Mollusk Mage here. Maybe we can throw out some lances on the next turn. And so storing this do much. Let's see, right now it's taking 9, and then 8 is 17. So one restore actually buys us some extra hits. 8 plus 1. I mean, damage went up, but not by as much as I thought, so hit for 9. This goes to 9. Regens 1 to 10. Not sure, but let's get some spikes going on this thing instead. Alright, and again, these are going to be huge. Just have to figure out which one of these ends up being more damage, and I don't really want to do the math. I'm going to guess this lands. And we're totally fine up here. Alright, took the 9 damage from that initial wave that we couldn't stop, but otherwise did alright. More Sharpens, again, not exactly what I'm looking for. The Sap and the Detonation both look good. The Sap obviously great on the Hollow just to get that continuous effect. The Detonation can be strong on our champion to try and catch it back up on health, but I'll take the Sap. Just Regen's such a powerful effect. And here I'm happy to see an Ice Tornado. It can reduce all the rest of our spells to 0 when we play it, so that's pretty good. And even sticks around for the turns where we don't quite want to deploy it. Alright, so we can get some health and an artifact versus a duplicate and a Stygian unit. We could use another unit, certainly, and what are we duplicating? Sap isn't bad. Tornado isn't bad, so we have some decent hits to duplicate. I'll go this way. Health, obviously, slightly concerning at the moment with 20 for the boss, but I think it'll be enough. Alright, so we get to pick up another incant unit of some sort, which isn't exactly what we want, I don't believe. It's going to be hard to keep up spells on 2 different floors, and we can't fit that much stuff behind Thorned Hollow. Even if we got extra space, this is still just a 3 unit, so 3 plus 2 makes 5 already. So, I mean, there's definitely no reason to take the guard. We don't need another tank, so it's either Nameless Siren or just nothing. And it might just be nothing. This just isn't the kind of thing we want right now. Go here before we duplicate, of course. You can improve something before duplicating it. Alright, well. So I've talked about this event a million times, but the long and short of it is this costs 0 instead of 2, and generally ends up dealing more damage by forcing units to walk through all of your floors rather than pulling it up directly to fire. I have picked this once since, so I didn't end up winning that run, unfortunately, to get this golded, but I'm going to continue picking doors the majority of the time. And here, it's close, I think, between the Tornado and the Sap. The Sap is just really good. The Tornado lets us have some pretty busted turns with the Anvils. I'll mix it up. They go for the Tornado. We have to push back Talos, of course, the worst possible one. But we'll have to make do here. Okay, it's starting off on the bottom with a lot of other stuff, so we're going to want to avoid that for the time being and play higher up. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'd rather this take the bulk of the damage down here. Her, and let's see, we didn't end up grabbing another unit, right? So I may as well play Train Steward with her. Train Steward's gonna get killed, but that's totally fine. And here we get to play one of these tornadoes. Might as well do it on the can floor. Get some additional value there. And could get the boss out of here, but this can probably be put to better use at some later date. I mean, right now would be a nice place to have it, but we don't, so that's okay. We'll once again make our hand free, and obviously restoring here. I don't care about these can triggers too much. And I guess I'll give this some spikes since it's about to end up in front. Alright. It's just a healer, right? Yes, that doesn't matter. And we should be fine for this boss with this creature's growing pretty well. Obviously having the spiky tank in the back, not precisely what you want, but what can you do? Okay, this deals 140 damage, sure. I guess I might as well play this and make your stuff free. Didn't even notice that big guy leaking, maybe playing a little too fast, but what can you do? And just applying restores. Alright, we're doing totally fine. Okay, so our Pyre took just a little bit more damage here, but nothing to be concerned about. We're about to get a whole bunch of health, of course, from the boss reward. Alright, Deep Offering and Anvil. When you play spells in hand that cost less. I'm curious how this interacts, if this is going to make our future hand free, or the one we have right now that we're going to discard. One of those is very good, one of them is very bad. We don't have Frostbite going, so this isn't too interesting. Gifts the Guard. Could be fine, but again, we're not really looking to consume most of our spells. We kind of need these restores around. Wouldn't mind Gary the Lances, but you can't target this in any fashion. A little bit tricky, so I'm gonna try to figure out how this interacts. Because, yeah, one of those could be great, and one is terrible, so just a moment. Alright, I actually can't seem to find any information on this. My guess is it's not going to work the way I want. My guess is it will reduce the cost of cards I'm discarding. But, that said, we can still make the card itself free by, like, casting an Ice Tornado. So I'm going to pick it up and we'll do a little bit of science. It's not the worst thing in the world to just have floating around your deck. It consumes itself as well. Alright. Lodestone Totem is actually interesting. It's kind of bad with Thorned Hollow because you actually want enemies sitting themselves on the spikes, though obviously we would want to incant on the same floor that we're already incanting on. So a little bit tricky there. The cost, obviously, as usual, a concern, but it's a very powerful card. I do want to have these two together, that's important. But yeah, if I overdo it on saps on our spikes floor, that actually ends up reducing our damage a substantial amount. So this might be another skip. Man, we're kind of drawing short on creatures here. If we go to the Woken banner next, we get our chance to pick up one more, and then that's kind of it. So our floor is Thorned Hollow, Siren, and then Sentient plus something. I mean, I think we can make that work. These just aren't gonna quite do what we want, so... fitting this in with our champions really accomplish much, because we're just not gonna be casting that many spells down there, so... Got me another skip, and we're hoping for something here. And here I'll take Draw. The Split Anvil makes energy not too much of an issue, and we have barely any units, so capacity not very good. And certainly have to go this way and try to find a unit to do some more DPS for us. Okay, these are not exactly what we're looking for, but I guess we'll take the Sweeper. It's fine. But I'm not loving where this run's at. Gonna straight up tell you that. Should have checked the merchant maybe before going there, but whatever. So I'm a little worried for our run right now. We're just lacking damage, and you know, spikes do a good job against bosses, so I'm not too concerned there, but the large enemies before that point could end up presenting an issue, so maybe we look to get holdover on this Bramble Lash and that does something, I'm not sure. In the meantime, our champion can go ahead and pick up better Cultivate, of course, draw us extra cards, and I mean, we'll grab some of these upgrades as well. We give the Thorned Hollow some spikes to begin with. Battlestone, I'll give that to Mollusk Mage, I think, just so it has a little bit extra health. We are still looking to play this guy, and yeah, he might as well survive some stuff and be a little bit better. Let's see, how many more upgrades am I looking to buy? I need one here, and two here. Yeah, I can't be too greedy, and Spike's 3 though is just so poor, but I think it's okay. I don't know. Yeah, this would have been better. Alright, well, quick on the shell is pretty nice. Go ahead and give it attack as well. It does mean less revenge triggers for our Sentient, but it means this can get its Slay going and get out of control that way, so that's totally fine. And this health not really doing a ton for us, I don't think. I could give it to the Mage, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That ensures it won't steal buffs from the Shattered Shell, and also just gets a little bit more tanky. And yeah, definitely looking to purge a few cards. The Train Stewards, as is typical, not very good. The Frozen Lance is looking actually really awful here. The Siphons are like okay. We have the Bramble Lash and 2 Tornadoes to kind of try and go off there, so I'm just gonna remove the Lances. We have an empty floor, just play these Stewards and have them die, and that way they're out of our deck. Whereas the Lances are stuck with us forever. Do I want to remove a second one? No, it looks like we're going to be spending a little bit more money, so let's save it for now. Certainly looking to get rid of those. Let's see, 46 enemies on every floor. We have haste again. So this time is guaranteed to have spikes, but we've since gotten a few more units, so less likely to draw them the first turn. But I still think we'll take this challenge. It shouldn't be too bad in terms of damage to the Pyre, hopefully. Even if we don't quite get there on what we want. Okay, smaller top floor, maybe not ideal. I mean, needs haste going as well. I think we have to set these up on the bottom just to eliminate the haste. This is gonna be frozen, so like maybe we can eliminate some guys next turn, but like we might just take 14 damage here and not be happy about it, but deal with it. In the meantime, Frozen Lance unfortunately doesn't help. It would only increase the amount of damage. And let's see, I could play Steward on the top floor, that doesn't help much either. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think playing any of these cards helps whatsoever. I'll play a Steward here to get killed, I guess. Alright, we got our Hollow. We do have to unfortunately play it on this floor. And take our damage on the Pyre, but it's alright, I guess. And play our Mollusk Mage, and at least now we're set up. Missing out on the Collector here kind of sucks. So slightly unfortunate to take that damage. If the top floor wasn't smaller, we could have avoided 8 of it. That would have been good, but it is what it is. And we'll have to just live with it. We do get to cast a bunch of free spells now, which is cool. Certainly throw as much restore as I can this way. Might as well play the Glimmer here. Don't think there's any reason to give this Sharpen, so I'll just stack that here as well. And you know, let's find out how this works. I'm okay with discarding this Tornado, I think. Yeah, it doesn't work the way I want. That's okay. Alright, how's our champion doing? Our champion's still fine. Keep firing stuff off here. I guess we may as well kill you here. And you can have some extra spell weakness. Yeah, the split anvil really doing wonders for us. I guess able to play so many more spells than we should be reasonably able to. And this floor's killing. Fantastic news. Oh, no reason to do anything then. Alright, well, we got our money. Paid the iron price for it, but it's okay. Preserved Thorn's kind of interesting. It gives us a bunch of incant triggers, which isn't so bad. Invigorating. Actually, Engraft, though, is probably the way to do it. That's just a free trigger on the Thorned Hollow, and it gets extra energy and everything. It's pretty good. So I'll grab an Engraft. And another incant unit. This one a bit more interesting. Certainly wouldn't mind applying armor 1 to our units. That said, we don't have room for it right now, so we'd have to improve space next time, which, you know, isn't actually insane or anything. Like, it's not a terrible idea. But I think I'll just take Titan's Tooth, another big enabler for the split anvil, so we'll still be fine. And we could afford some trinkets with 330 gold, get ourselves a remove as well. That's pretty good. But I think I'm going to go this way. There's some cave events that could help out, and there's definitely spells we want to improve. I'll go here first, I think. Alright, does this help? Wax and Spike, obviously not great, not looking to apply burnout to our units. So it's whether one of these is good. The Spike of the Stygian's not bad, and X spells do work alright with the Split Anvil. You can play it and then have the rest of your hand be free as well. So, sure, I'll pick it up. It's not insane, but it's good. Then Permafrost. Could be okay on the shoot, of course. Could be alright on Deep Offering, maybe. Save it for a turn where we don't have a great hand to play. Maybe there's something there, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Alright, 10 spell damage. I'm probably putting that on either one of the Ice Tornadoes or the Titan's Tooth. And I'll go with the Tornado. Cost reduction's interesting. We actually want our 3s to be 3s so that they can continue to fuel our other spells being cheap. So we actually don't want to mess with the costs too much. I could just make this cheaper and it makes it a reasonable amount better. And then I just have to decide if I'd like to do something with this Permafrost or not. I mean, other than the one Deep Offering, we don't have like discard or anything, so it's not going to be a problem to go ahead and just Permafrost this. And we have a lot of cash, so I'm not too worried. Okay, remove Consume. Wouldn't have minded doing that on the shoot, and I guess I still could. Even though it has Permafrost as well, it's totally fine, but I think the Wildwood Sap might actually be our play here. I want to apply this card multiple times if possible. And do I want to reduce that one? I could reduce the Engraft as well, actually. That might be better. This gives us energy for free, which then lets us maybe play like a bigger X-Spell. And this will just get reduced by 3 or reduce other ones. That's totally fine for it to be a little bit more expensive. And here, obviously happy to give Consume those lands. Alright, that ended up being a pretty good Magic Shop, I think. I would say our deck has notably improved, though it's still going to need a little bit more help. Stewards. Looking awkward. Alright, 15 armor, huh? Well, that certainly makes the Shattered Shell have a harder time getting off the ground. Though once it gets just a few Cultivate triggers, it's going to be fine. It's already at 13, and these small guys are going to have 16 health. So it's really not so bad. The big guys having a lot of health, though, is potentially an issue, and we're a little bit low health, and I did mention that I think our deck has trouble potentially dealing damage, so I'm a little bit worried about this, for sure. I mean, I'd like the gold, don't get me wrong, but if we draw our cards in the right order, we just end up dying to an overcharged tank a little too easily, so I'm gonna have to keep this off. Once again, the smaller top floor. That kind of sucks. We really wanted to avoid facing the boss right away, ideally. Well, we might have to mix things up a bit and try to get our spiky tank on the bottom, maybe. Ascension has, what, 80 health? Nah, it'll probably be fine. Just do things the usual way. It just means the bottom floor won't do much, but the spike enemy is so good at taking out bosses that it doesn't matter a whole lot. And of course get some Steward action going at the top. And restore down. Alright, well, we have our Hollow online. Certainly go ahead and draft. And yeah, that gives us the energy to then play an Ice Tornado, which then gives us the ability to play everything else, which is awesome. Just have to decide where I'd like to do that, and I think I'll do it here, have a chance to hit the Collector and do some damage to this guy. Seems alright. Pretty good. Baron online. That's nice. Gonna hold on to Spike, I think. This guy's gaining health because he's killing a train steward. That sucks. But he's still gonna go down in 2 hits, though. We do need to make sure we start eliminating these guys a little bit. So maybe I do need to play this Spike for 2, so it'll do 3 sap and 15 frostbite. So maybe I do it on this one. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it here. Didn't hit her sharpen, unfortunately. I wasn't quite sure how that interacted, but it's okay. Alright, and yeah, we're just gonna let that one go. It's a little bit scary for sure. Got some good stuff here. Ooh, we got our trap shoot. That's good. So we get rid of this guy entirely. We can play either of these enablers to then get the rest of our hand cheaper. Let's see, this deals 5 and this deals 26. That'll be 31. So these two kill this guy exactly while also applying frostbite. That's really good. So I think I'll do it that way. And now we're dealing a ton of damage here. Okay, so let's drop him. Let him hang out with a bit more frostbite down there. And in the meantime, yeah, just play more spells. Spell weakness wants to go here, probably. And I'm not going to play this. It ended up being a bad pick, but, you know, sometimes you have to just live with your decisions. Alright, and once again, we're looking to play one of our big enablers. And this guy has spell weakness, so I'm just going to go for the Ice Tornado. Alright, kill him entirely, that's good. We don't get to play our Mollusk Mage, which is a little bit unfortunate. Our champion, a little bit low. We need to try and find some better heals. This guy dying to Frostbite, so we're totally fine there. Not a ton we can do here. May as well apply these energy siphons, and then just fire some spells off on this floor. And I think we'll be totally fine, even if this floor doesn't quite do enough. Yeah, we're completely okay. But again, we're just lacking DPS in the early phases of the fight. And I'm not sure what we can do to fix that at this point, unfortunately. We're restoring retreat, not doing a whole lot for us. We don't have units to really move around, so it's not helpful. Extra spikes are like fine, and I guess it consumes at least. Pyro, not actually the worst in the world. We draw lots of cards anyway, and the extra energy could be helpful at times, but yeah, you know, actually, I will pick that one up. Let's see, Harness the Titan, Guardian's Amulet. Harness is interesting. It's definitely good with these restores. It actually does something with the Ice Tornadoes, though we'll often be playing those ahead of the other thing. Maybe this does something. I don't think Guardian's Amulet or Urchin Spines does. I don't know. We need some help, so. Grasping it draws a little bit here, but what can you do? We have the boss coming up. Probably need this Pyre health, but I don't know that a duplicate and remove help us win the run is the problem. Like, the remove's good, or at least fine. Duplicate, though, like, there's just nothing that's really that impressive at the moment. So I'm gonna go this way, and, you know, there's a good chance we die on this boss, but I think the artifact in the cavern could hold something that might actually help us win this round. Okay, that's decent. It certainly makes our Spike tank a little bit a little bit better. Don't really care about dazing units too much. Take a quick look at this before we go up the cave. Holdover could do something as well. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we get a rail spike. That's good. I'm gonna go for the monster one. This might actually help us on this fight, so just having that extra 25 damage sitting around somewhere versus just getting like a one-time use out of a spell. And holdover has to do something, right? Like, we could put on graft for just getting a trigger and an energy every single turn. That's not bad. We could put on Bramble Lash for some DPS. Once we get going a little bit, we could put it on an expensive card to try and get our Split Anvil triggers. They're all good options. Times spikes. How quickly does this become good is the question. We start with 3, so it's 30 damage to begin, which is not good, but it's kind of acceptable, and then it only gets better, right? So I think I'm gonna try giving this holdover, and we'll see how that goes. Definitely worried about this boss fight. I don't want to cast spells here, that's totally fine. And we don't want to set up on the bottom, so we'll just play our 2 units here. Chuck a steward at the bottom, probably. Yeah, I don't want to play spells on this floor. Well, alright, so this is going to be sad, but this might actually make a difference. So I'm going to choose to play it. I guess I can still play the steward too, sure. Might as well check him out there. Okay, nothing should be dying, so that's not an issue. Of course, the holdover, less good when we don't have energy to play the card, but get our Siren online. I guess we get to engraft here, and then... Ooh, so we have to decide between playing a Mollusk Mage versus getting this Bramble Lash going. I feel like this is going to be too important to skip out on, so I'm going to play it. They harness, and then we get to actually throw some decent lances at this thing. Not bad. Probably looking to pick up energy from this boss, unless we find like a one-tile unit that we like. Okay, well that's certainly awkward, but I would like to prefer not take 6 damage, so probably have to do it. Should be able to cast one of the Ice Tornadoes, and then everything else that only the other Ice Tornado gets more expensive. And that just means it's stuck in our hand for the rest of the fight, but it sucks, but it's okay. So yeah, I might as well not incant on that floor, so let's go ahead and give you an Energy Siphon. Play our better Tornado. Yeah, it just kills you. Nice. Actually don't want to play the Glimmer here because I want to get the Slay trigger there. So I have to play this on just an empty floor. And how much do I care about this restore costing more? You know, not that much. So we're starting casting this again. Would like to get our steward going as well. This is harvest, it's fine. Because that means we're casting a few less cards. It's okay though. Do that, and then you're taking 35 and you're 32, so I actually can't cast this restore, I don't think. It'll give us what? 2 more spikes, which is 4 more damage because of the extra attack as well. God It's math. So we're at 35, so we go to 39 damage, and you would go to 42. So yeah, I unfortunately can't play that. Do need to get more spikes on that creature for sure. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to play stuff down there. Certainly play one of these, and this is where the Ice Tornado being more expensive is actually hurting us a bit, but nothing we can do about it, so have to continue holding on to this. I think it's too important, so just do it like so. As Harvest is a fine one. And okay, we draw on Graft, which is actually really good. That means we have... Oh, I had an extra energy from somewhere else as well. Oh, right, of course we played our Pyrogross. Now we have lots of energy. Let's go. That's really good. Might throw this on the boss, maybe? And that should make everything else free. Yeah, that seems fine. Get 30 Frostbite going on them. Harness, obviously great. Might as well play this. Certainly play this. Okay, and we're in pretty solid shape. Gonna keep holding on to the shoot until we need it. Steward gave his life for the cause, that's fine. Alright, this is the Slay guy, not the Incant guy, so that's alright. Player Lash, player Sap. We're gonna need to check up on the champion every now and again, but without the Mollusk Mage there, we can't really do a whole lot of healing to them anyway, so just kind of hoping they survive on their own. And here, of course, might as well get all of our bonuses that we can. Alright, so it looks like we're going to survive this fight, which is good. Okay, well, there's our Mollusk Mage if we'd like it. I suppose it's fine to play it here. Oh, that means we lost our Bramble Lash. Well, that was foolish, but it is what it is. We still have our Trap Shoot. I think we'll be okay. Oh, we're actually... Holy crap, we're not killing. Alright. I think we will kill. Yeah, now we're fine, but... That's concerning that we weren't killing until then. Pick up our little bit of money. We have Quick, Awoken Rail Spike, or Ice and Pyre. None of those appeal too much. I guess this gives us some damage, which is maybe something we need. Without giving it permafreeze or something, though, it's a little bit tricky, but I guess I'll pick it up. Beggars can't be choosers and all that, and I'll take the energy here. Our hero giving us plenty of draw. Alright, let's see what we have. So we can pick up an artifact, certainly can't afford another one, and a remove, or some Pyre Health and a Merchant of Steel. The Merchant of Steel... doing a little bit. We basically just need to do something on the Sirens. I'm like multi-strike on it, could go a long way. And then let's see, next circle before the final boss, we'll be looking at these options. This certainly looks more appealing. So I might go here for now. We can use the extra fire health and hope to finish our Siren off with a good upgrade. That certainly isn't it. I'm gonna chance to reroll multi-strike. Yeah, it'll just go such a long way for us. And yeah, nobody else matters. So let's just upgrade our champion. There's a little bit of temptation to switch over to explosive for the end here to buy us a little bit of extra damage, but we just aren't throwing that many heals at the champion, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go with the big 160 health and hope for the best. Okay, we have enemies on each floor, which would, if ignored, cause something like 60 damage. Is that really true? Yeah, it's like 15 each. That's a lot of damage. I think we have to take the risk. Our deck is not beating the final boss as we stand right now, so we're going to need the cash. I'm just going to take this, and, you know, if we die here, then at least we know we took this challenge, or this trial, for a reason. Okay, keeps giving us this smaller top floor, kind of unfortunate. But yeah, well, we draw Titan's Tooth, which helps out a little bit, and we could play the Shell and the Ascension in the middle here. It's not exactly what we want, but it saves us 40 pyre health. That's probably worth doing. The alternative is just Titans Tooth this floor, set up on the bottom, and then let this floor do its thing, hit us for 30. This also powers our shell up pretty nicely, actually. Though it's going to stop getting powered up later after we deploy our spike unit on the bottom and start stealing those kills. It's a really tricky spot, honestly. I'm going to play it this way. I don't know if it's right. Play Titan's Tooth here. And then might as well give this guy some spell weakness, like that. And we're not looking to play Deep Offering here, as we might draw our creatures, and that would be an absolute disaster. So. Alright. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the energy to do everything we need. Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of options, unfortunately. Gosh, this guy is going to deal so much damage, but I don't even think we can stop him, so... What are you going to do, really? And now I have decided if I'd rather have an incant trigger or the extra money. And I'm going to choose the money. That may be a foolish decision. A lot of decent cards. So this will eliminate him thanks to the weakness, which is awesome. Let's see, this spells cost less. Self-mutilation, unfortunately not getting hit by that, but I'm certainly going to play one of these spikes and then look to play the rest of our hand. So I think that goes here because we want this guy to hit on the spikes. We don't mind this guy not hitting. No, let's get rid of self-mutilation first, then play this. Now we get to do that. Play restore. Let's see. I think the... Could play Sharpen here, actually. The spikes give us extra attack as well. That seems good. And I have to decide where to play these lances. They have extra spell damage up here, which could be relevant, versus giving some can triggers. Let's see, you're taking 53. I guess the bulk of our damage here is sweep anyway, so eliminating this front unit does not accomplish too much. It essentially puts 10 extra damage on the wing, which just doesn't really do anything, so I'd rather fire them off down here with the triggers. Yeah, our Hollow actually in a little bit of trouble as well. We never did pick up better heals, so we're just healing it with basic restores. And the sap when we get it, which isn't precisely where you want to be. Alright, probably need to drop this guy. This is really not good. I'm gonna get rid of this. Maybe this is the one I let go and I dropped this one. Because he has sap and frostbite, so he's not gonna hit us quite as hard. Yeah. That's probably correct. So I'm not even gonna drop it yet. I'll just go ahead and fire a tornado on this floor. And then play all that. And 2 hits there isn't so bad. And yeah, now I'm gonna look to drop you. And I can actually play Harness before the tornado, which is kind of nice. So let's do that. Can I eliminate this before playing the Bramble Ash? That would be sick. 7. No, there's no way, unfortunately. But still, that puts a lot of damage here, which is good. Continue doing this, I think. Whoops, screwed that up a little bit. It's fine. Alright, that guy looking like it's gonna hit fire 2 more times. Can we do anything about that? My guess is no. Can we deal it 23 damage somehow? Deck. I could play the Deep Offering, and that would already deal a little bit of damage with Titan's Tooth, and then maybe we draw our Ice Empire. I actually don't hate that play. I think I'm going to play the Bramble Ash first. Get the holdover on that. Play these free restores. And yeah, at that point we do this. Yeah, and we drew it. That's perfect. Wait, now these are all 0? Is that because I discarded a Titan's Tooth? Well, I won't question too hard and just do it here. Alright, we're killing the boss, so no real reason to mess with anything. He has revenge, I don't want to screw up the math, so let's go. Okay, so we somehow managed to stumble our way through that fight and get our extra 400 gold. It's pretty good. Alright, and Edge Prior, and again, A, no room, B, we're kind of making our spells free anyway, so I don't care too much. Restoring Retreat. I mean, if we're on the bottom, that's just a heal spell. We really need to find something more than just basic restores, I feel like, but I don't know if this is it. It can also drop an enemy, I guess. I think I'll pick it up. It's awkward, to say the least. And I don't think these are it. Let's skip that one. And again, we're going to go to the right here and look for the duplicate and remove to save us, and of course the trinkets, hopefully doing something for us as well. Our holdover, okay. What do you have for me? Well, obviously this would have been great on the other side, as it's pretty bad. Consume cards give us 5 pyre health. We don't have very many consume cards, right? We have a couple. It's not insane, but probably not that good. And then spell weakness 2 on the top floor. Pretty good. If we can set up, if we get to set up on the top floor, then like the Bramble Lash gets out of control there, but there's a 1 in 3 chance that ends up being the small floor, and then this is useless. That said, we have 600 gold. I'm gonna chance it and take this. Probably taking the plating here. We just need a little bit of buffer. I don't think the boss is going to be a huge issue. I think the enemies before then are, so just buying yourself some time is really good. Doesn't leave much room for spell improvements, but I think that's okay. Again, cost reduction, not necessarily something I care about that much, though. Doing it on the Bramble Lash is good, just for those awkward turns where we can't make it free. And magic power, I'll put on the other tornado, I guess. It's fine. Then remove Stewards or Lances. The Lances give us some triggers at least, but they're pretty bad. And, but you know what? They get to be free, and the Stewards don't. So I'm just gonna put the Stewards here. And I guess I just duplicate this Bramble Lash and kind of hope to get there on spamming the crap out of it. Alright, Seraph. Yeah, it's also Devour spells. Most of the Lances have a little bit of place. It is going to be harder to get the Anvil going with that, but not nothing we can do about it. Okay, well the top floor is smaller, so step 1 is already bad. That's okay, we can still throw a couple damage spells up there every now and again, try to get some use out of the Totem Fragment. But we can't set up there, we'll have to set up on the first 2 floors. And certainly play Sentient and Siren here. Yeah, I don't mind consuming a Lance. And this card is not really doing a whole heck of a lot for us. So I'd rather just get some more incant triggers out of it. Alright, we got all the units we need, which is good. The shell obviously pretty big here. Start eliminating these crappy units. Get Moss Mage online, get Thorn Hollow online. And at this point, I guess we're just getting rid of a self-mutilation. That's a little bit annoying. Alright, oh, let's not start there, I guess. So we start with the Lance, then we play this, then I want to play one of these 2s and potentially the other one as well. The regen's huge, I have to play the regen. I can't do anything about these guys, they're just gonna get through and deal a bunch of damage to the Pyre. That sucks, but what can you do? Definitely do that, definitely do that. Our champion's still doing okay on health. And then I have to decide if 6 Pyre damage is worth playing a Sharpen. How much damage are these guys dealing? 18, 28. Then he gets to hit like 3 more. That's a lot of fire damage. I'm gonna preserve fire health. That 15 getting out of the top was really a bit of a shame. Alright, this isn't so bad, except for our tank dying, but I think we'll be able to solve that. So, let's see. Starting with the trap shoot. No, tricky. I can start with an energy siphon. I don't really mind that one getting consumed. This is with dealing 90, so let's do that. Then we play one of our 3 costs. Then we play one of these. Yeah, okay, so I was gonna steal this from the Bramble Ash. It's a little bit annoying, so I guess we'll play one of these tornadoes. Okay, triple hitting the boss is better than it sounds, though it is a little bit awkward. I'm gonna eliminate that unit. And then certainly play Ice Empire. And hold on to the Trap Shoot, obviously. Alright, well, we get both Bramble Ashes here, which is nice. Though we do need to find a way to not die as well. That's pretty important. So we can consume a Lance, then play a Tornado maybe. And then that lets us just play our whole hand. Might have to use the Trap Shoot here just for survival. But let's do this, then steals 110. Okay, so I can just kill both of these already. So we're actually fine. Might as well get an Incant Trigger out of this. And that. Alright, I guess that's that for now. Really having a hard time keeping this unit going. Okay, that sucks. At least we draw lands to eliminate it. So, start there. Then grab extra energy. Oh, we had an Ice Empire as well, but who cares? Play this Titan's Tooth. That once again unlocks these things. Alright, so we're kind of getting in the groove of it now. So we'll do that, so we'll do this, and I guess we'll hit the boss. Hey, that 90 damage could do something. But, man, our tank just not surviving as well as I'd like. Okay. So, kind of a big decision moment here. We could descend the Siren of the Sea and try to get behind our champion, which we can then potentially try and heal up a little bit more. It'll survive a decent amount more hits from the boss than the Thorn Hollow will, so that probably makes sense. And we have enough of these Bramble Ashes and stuff to survive this turn without it. Though the awkward thing is I would like to play this to actually heal the champion. But it is what it is. I think that's the way to go. Like, this just dies so quickly. Whereas here it has a wall of units in front of it to do its pretty good damage. But if I can, I should do that at the end. so that I can get a little bit more triggers. I'm not going to be playing the Vengeful Shard, that doesn't do much for me. So the cards I'm going to be playing are both the 2-cost spells, and then the one stuff gets free, that's good. So then I can play the Steward, I guess, or the Vengeful Shard, neither really matters much. What am I looking to consume? This is okay to consume, it's not that critical for us. So go ahead and start there. That makes these free, so I can play a Harness, play these Bramble Lashes. It would actually be really nice to be able to kill this guy so he doesn't deal me the 15 damage, but I don't think I can really work around that. And then yeah, I will send this. Looks good. Certainly holding on to this for the boss. So I'll just play a Steward, I guess. Sure. Here's our final wave. So obviously this is getting consumed anyway, we might as well start with it. And then go to town, I guess. The Bramble Lash is not doing much on this floor, but that's okay. Just wondering what I'd like to Energy Siphon. I think this guy makes some amount of sense. Tornado. Heal our champion as much as possible. Okay, these are numbers I can live with. How good is this regen here? I'm certainly going to go ahead and play these. So I think we're going to win off the Bramble Lashes next turn regardless, but I'm just wondering where this regen should go. I guess I'll put on the champion. And that kills. Holy moly. Did not think we were getting through that one. Just struggling the entire way through, but you know, managed to get a descent at the end and really get something going. We had nothing to heal with except basic restores, and somehow we still did it. Yeah, the boss, look at this, killing everything down to the last 4 health on this. That's insane. Alright, let's let this play out. And even the spikes on this, I think, might have ended up mattering. Just a little bit extra damage. Alright, took 61 damage in the boss fight. But, you know, we got through it. Off to a rough start. And, again, rough all the way through, but nevertheless, persevered and managed to get to the end. So, Anvil certainly did well for us there. That was fun to play our whole hand every time. Would have been nice to maybe have some more incant units, but yeah, that was an interesting run. We got our win streak going, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.